कोई रास्ते पे चलने, जैसे आदमी के पास में फुटपाथ पे चलने के लिए रास्ता ऑलरेडी वो ऑक्यूपाइड है, कभी झोपड़पट्टी की वजह से ऑक्यूपाइड है, कभी किसी दुकान वाले ने दुकान लगाकर मतलब उस चीज़ को ब्लॉक कर दिया है फुटपाथ को। पब्लिक जो है ना वो रास्ते पर चलती है, और जब वो रास्ते पर चलती है तो फिर मोटरिस्ट कहाँ गाड़ी अपनी चलाएंगे, समझे? तो बहुत संभाल कर चलाना होता है। मेंटली आदमी डिस्टर्ब रहता है कि कब कोई झोपड़े में से बाहर आ जाए।
You ask a question as to why don't you walk on the pavements? Not possible. Impossible. Try and walk on the pavement, not on the road. See how often you will have to step down from the pavement to the road. Just try and figure out. Just try and figure out how often you will have to do that. Because there is some shop that is jetting out, because there is some guy who's drunk or a beggar that is sitting.
I will not tolerate. I am a zero tolerance man. As far as BMC is concerned, in nearby area there are schools and colleges and all. So thousands of students use this road and footpath. Now, Mafi Ahmed Kidwai Road, near that footpath, some 7,000 trucks pass. So the basic thing is they must provide a safely walking area, at least for the students and aged and all. So, but such simple thing which you and I will understand in 5 minutes, it takes 2 years for BMC to understand. Miss at ward level, at DMC level, at commissioner level, you go and talk and give letters and photographs and all, and still is not done for past 2 years. That is the thing which is wrong in this city.
सरकार गाड़ियों के लिए लाखों करोड़ों रुपए खर्च करती है कि गाड़ी सही सलामत एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे जा सके। और गाड़ी के अंदर 1 से 4 लोग ही बैठते हैं, और सड़क के ऊपर कई गरीब से गरीब आदमी, अमीर से अमीर आदमी सड़क के किनारे पे चलते हैं, और उसके लिए चलने के लिए सड़क का किनारा भी सुरक्षित नहीं है। हमारे शहर में 1 किलोमीटर दायरा भी कहीं बचा नहीं है जो फुटपाथ सही सलामत हो, जहाँ पे चल सकता हो इंसान।
People have forgotten to walk on the footpath because there's no place to walk on the footpath. We just developed this footpath. If you see coming when you come entering the lane, this was like that for the last 40 years, 30 years. And after hampering in 2 years, it has just got paved now. So you see people are not walking on that footpath also. They're not used to it.
All these things, when we got these hawkers removed from here, they started placing their bikes here. So when the BMC van goes and the police enters in, these people are all coming back here unless we don't call the police.
But I'm against these people standing and on the road and working. I'm against these people building their house on the road and living. Absolutely against.
Survey 13 feet of road, and his brother where he is stationed on the stall is another 6 feet. That means total from the footpath till the road is 20 feet gone. And these politicians come and abuse the BMC and the police to take a mild stand. Now either that man will survive for his job by listening to the corporators and the local politicians, or will have to be kicked off.
The ALM members who are on the linking would also keep networking with me and telling me what's happening on this road. So immediately I call up from here and tell them, okay, look, it's like that. See, we also NGOs or residents were so fed up of the issue that we have changed ourselves automatically. We had no other alternative. See, you want to change the system, you have to be in the system.
Now, Matunga Central Railway Station, the license given to number of hawkers is 30, and there are 300 hawkers. So the thing is that just by paying 20 rupees per day to that BMC officer, what is called as hafta, as little as 20 rupees. That man is able to just put anything and everything on the footpath and sell it. And then day by day that small basket goes on increasing, and now if you come there, there will be layers of 10 things. He puts at least 15 baskets at a various level of height and sells some 25 items. So that is as good as a big shop like thing, which is what is objectionable. You people don't get space to walk.
It's like an obstacle course. They have to cross the vehicles, they have to cross all kinds of blockages. Moment a skywalk is being constructed at Vileparle West. No notice to the pedestrians, no notice to the residents, no traffic plan, diversion plan. Suddenly overnight the barricades come up. Pedestrians are forced to go in between the barricade and the buildings, and as it is there are illegal hawkers. They have not been temporarily moved, even though they may or may not have a stay from the High Court or the Supreme Court to remain there. But for facilitating the pedestrians to go from SC Road to the station, there is no management. This is not the way project should be. The people who are using it and the people who are affected by it, they have to be taken into confidence and made sure that what is happening, everybody knows about it.
Mumbai is in some way a very special city in India, in the sense that there is everything. It's a most city. We have got a lot of pedestrians, we have got a lot of cars, a lot of buses, a lot of trucks, and the only little thing is a space. So the dispute or the conflict is very high. Everybody is a pedestrian. That means those who use car are also pedestrians. Those who use bus are also pedestrians. So we should think first of pedestrians.
As a car driver or a car owner, I don't pay even 1 paise, my dear. As a tax, what I pay is one-time registration of my vehicle tax. The authorities do not consider pedestrians as a factor of transport, and therefore their design in development of roads excludes the needs of the pedestrian. As soon as a road is to be widened, they say their idea is to increase the number of carriageways for allowing private vehicles to zoom fast, and that can be done only in a built-up atmosphere by cutting down the pavements. So we remove the pavements, and that is how pedestrians are looked at as a factor of transport. We exceeded 1,02,000 persons died on Indian roads all over the country. This is the highest in the world. Bombay has the gold medal of killing people on the road.
That as observations like that, typically about 5% in Mumbai, 5 to 10% depending on the road, are the buses, about 20% are two-wheelers, about 15% are the 10-15% are taxis, and about 50% are the private cars. Now this 50% private cars carry only 5 to 6% of the passengers, whereas 10% buses, they carry about 50 to 60% of it. So there is a reverse, something what they call the famous 80-20 rule. So that applies here. That a small number of buses carry a large number of people and a large number of cars occupying large number of space. carry very quickly. And it is these people, or it is for these people, the whole road designs, investments are all made. So pedestrians are always ignored. Nothing is done for keeping the pedestrian is at the center of things.
बीएमसी ऑफिस के सामने ही है, ई वार्ड के सामने ही है झोपड़पट्टी। तो रिहेबिलिट करने के बाद में ये लोग फिर से दोबारा आकर बस गए कि हम जो टैक्स भरते हैं जो लोग, और हमारे टैक्स के पैसे से ही ये लोग जो है ना, इनको झोपड़पट्टी से फ्लैट दिया जाता है। तो ये एक बार इनको फ्लैट दिया गया, ये यहाँ से शिफ्ट होकर चले गए, फिर उसके बाद में फिर इन्होंने आज झोपड़पट्टी दोबारा बना ली है। तो ये कब तक ये सिलसिला चलेगा ये समझ में नहीं आता कि ये ई वार्ड ऑफिस के सामने ये चीज़ हो रही है। कानून का जो रक्षक है उसके घर के सामने ही चोरी हो रही है। एंक्रोचमेंट इन द एंटायर सिटी, लेकिन उसके बाद में भी एंटायर सिटी में ऑर्डर देने के बाद में भी इन लोगों ने कुछ नहीं किया। इसी कोर्ट ऑर्डर के बेस पे मतलब जो है ना, हमने ई वार्ड म्यूनिसिपल ऑफिस में ये लेटर लिखा एज ए सिटीजन एक्टिविस्ट कि आप ये मॉरलेन रोड पे, हमने 5-6 रोडों का जो है ना नाम गिनाया और इन लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट की कि ये 6 रोड जो हैं इस पे बहुत ही सिचुएशन बहुत ज़्यादा ख़राब है और आप इस पर तवज्जो देकर मतलब इसको एनक्रोचमेंट फ्री कीजिए। तो अब ये इनकी चमड़ी इतनी ज़्यादा मोटी हो गई है कि हाई कोर्ट ने अगर इनको ऑर्डर दिया तो उसकी भी इज्जत करना ये लोग नहीं जानते।
BMC tells us there is no one. Police tells us we have got VIP security. How they are paying these officials on a day-to-day basis and a monthly basis. 500 they give monthly and daily 80 rupees to the BMC and 60 rupees to the police. So why do you think they are going to work for me? What am I giving them? You see, they're talking about curbing the crime, but these are the people who are helping to build the crime. How they are going to curb it?
When you realize how your open spaces are being utilized and how it goes away from your hands, you realize that your area is not in good hands. It's not in hands where people know how they should develop a place.
If I go to ward, F North ward that is, and the maintenance engineer will tell you, oh, your point is correct, but we cannot do this, take this decision, you have to go to executive engineer of traffic and control at Worli. He says, no, I have to come to site and see the problem ourselves, and then they one day come and then they call me and then they promptly agree, but they say, oh, but this Chowki belongs to hydraulic engineer of Baikala. So he writes a letter to them and again an appointment, again they come, again they agree. Now they say, we will write to ward, from F North ward to EETC to hydraulic engineer to executive chief engineer road city to back to F North ward. The letter has come. It has taken 2 years. So they are very expert in just diverting you, though they may be correct. There are number of departments, but when communication channels are available like email and SMS and fax and phones and mobiles and every damn thing is available, why can't they do video conferencing or whatever it takes and take a decision in a day or two? It can be done. It is nothing rocket science. But they don't do it. With this year's BMC budget is 20,000 crore rupees. So it is more than some of the states of India. The problem is known, the solution is known, the money is available, and still, as on today, they have not completed the project. Then why they can't do it? Either the IAS officers are not worth it, or they have no inclination. The attitude is not there. The so-called attitude to work and give results, and nobody is made answerable, first of all.
So we feel that if we make compulsory paved path based on the location, the size of the car, time of the day, that will solve 60-70% of problem. But it is a town. People don't want. I have tried very hard to talk with all the people. People simply change the subject. They don't just reject because they know they can't answer it. So they simply change the subject. I have seen one thing, whether it's municipal commissioner, police commissioner, corporator, standing committee, they change the subject.
It's not coming to an end only because officials are not doing it. And only these people are responsible for having this. I call them the plagues of the city. Are you meaning to say that our government has no money to build 2, 3 municipal markets and give these people place? If you want to clear, they are going to clear because you are the authority. Today, when we are working on a metro rail issue, to tell you the truth, today you are taking away things from people, no? But even if they have paid the taxes. So if you can manage to do that with the people who are paying the taxes, how come you are not efficient enough to remove these people? This is a question mark. One of them even went into the verge of telling me, you know ma'am, if you're not going to do, you know where my posting is going to be, he said. Because we have to give everybody till top. So we have to generate the source of income.
The officer who was suspended, no? When he came into duty, he has put up this stall, He has put up his stall. And what they are doing, they are telling me that he has got a license of Linking Road. But Linking Road extends from Bandra Junction to here. He was never there. I live just opposite road and opposite building. How did he come?
So this is like a, who we are talking about, who are working on the ground level, they are the micro people. We actually need to touch the top people.
This is an example of a good footpath that is from Birla Kriya Kendra, that is on the north side towards all the gymkhanas and going towards Walkere City. That footpath is probably the only good world-class footpath in England. And public is using it because it's open space and it's well made and hardly any encroachments, it's clean. And also at Shivaji Park. Shivaji Park footpath is also clean. So people are using it regularly.
Started out when I became concerned with global warming. I tried to talk people into saving fuel by walking and by taking public transport. I started doing some of that myself, leaving my car at home. And found that yes, we have a huge problem here. Because there is no infrastructure for people who would like to walk. No footpaths. Roadsides where one would normally walk are cluttered with debris, cluttered with parked cars, hawkers and the stuff that they leave there. It is impossible to walk in a civilized way by the side of the road. So the only way one can walk is in the center of the road, sharing space with vehicles. And that's when I felt that something very precious had been taken away from us over the years. Santosh was painting on the roads of Bombay. He was demonstrating to people that people have a right to those 6 feet on the side of the road. So in order to do that, he was painting a lane. We said, why should he be doing it alone? A lot of citizens should be doing it with him. And so we propagated the idea. We had large numbers of citizens, senior citizens, housewives coming out onto the street, forming human chains while Santosh and I painted these pedestrian lanes. We decided to do it in the center of the road, on either side of the road divider, because the sides of the road where one would normally walk were completely taken over by hawkers, parked vehicles, etc. It was extremely difficult to do anything over there. Also because it was of a poor quality. And we wanted to make a statement. The statement we wanted to make was the best quality of road surface should be reserved for the pedestrians. When we saw the kind of support we had from all over the city and the kind of anger there was against the administration, it was very easy for us to have a database of phone numbers and people. We could easily bring them together in agitations, in demonstrations. And that's how the movement really picked up.
देखिए ये हमारा मोरलेन रोड है और हमने यहाँ पर सबसे पहले सत्याग्रह किया। DNA पेपर और वगैरह और HT पेपर, ये सब पेपर पढ़ने के बाद में मुझे इस चीज़ के बारे में मालूम पड़ा कि ऐसा सत्याग्रह कृष्णराज राव जी और संतोष जंगम साहब ऐसा सत्याग्रह करते हैं। बोरीवली से भी लोग आए थे और क्या नाम है मलाड से लोग आए थे, फिर यहाँ कुछ तारदेव से लोग थे, तो ऐसे करके काफ़ी लोग और बैंड्रा से कुछ लोग थे। लोगों को मालूम पड़ा कि अच्छा ये ऐसे सत्याग्रह इन लोगों ने किया और इस वजह से किया, तो कुछ लोग मतलब जैसे 10 आदमी थे तो 20 हो गए, मतलब 20 लोग जुड़ गए इस काम में हमारे साथ में।
Don't expect people to walk in the middle of the road, you know. So then the next day, you know, when you are in the train, you start talking to people and you say, look, I know it's a mad movement, but to get to have people to get the authorities to do something about it, you've got to do something mad. Until there's a disruption on the road, unless people start talking about it, unless it comes in the press, no action is taken. They won't move, they won't budge. So that they move, so that they budge, we had to do something which was different. And the ward officer was, like I told you, on his knees.
Reporter from DNA, chap named Sandeep Ashar. He said, I'll project this. He started giving my mobile number and email address in his press reports. They built it as a campaign. They called it a DNA campaign. It went all over the city. We just swamped with phone calls, people from all over the city phoning me and saying, when are you coming to our part of the city? When can we stage a demonstration? And there were people like Bhavika Jain of Hindustan Times, others, quite a few others. They helped in creating the critical mass.
It would be a good idea in Mumbai at least if they use a system of raised pedestrian crossings like they have already started in Pune. Pune Municipal Corporation has at various places made it very simple for the pedestrian to cross from one footpath to the other by the system of raised pedestrian crossings. If these are introduced in Mumbai at various places, they will not only facilitate the footpath, the crossing, plus they will act as speed breakers for fast driving. It's a very simple process. Pune Municipal Corporation already done it. It's a matter of will and it's a matter of actual implementation.
Automobiles consume a lot of energy. They are the biggest contributor of the pollution and also biggest guzzler of the space and energy. It is really getting to a level where the human existence will be in danger if everybody follows the American model. In America, there are 800 cars per 1,000 people. In Mumbai, for example, there are 120 cars per 1,000 people. But if we just, even if we have a 300, 400, 500 people car per 1,000 people, for all rural and city people, you can just imagine what chaos the world will have. So, if people walk or if they go by buses, there will be no problem of the time and no obstructions. So that people will feel like walking, they will enjoy walking. Then it is easier for them to cross. Crossing is also very important because there is a conflict between this and that board. So, if we improve the pedestrian environment, if we improve the buses, then that would mean that we are managing the traffic demand. Discipline is a word we utter and strictly not to be. Zero follow, not a paisa spent for this thing, not any serious attention paid. And I do feel the discipline will give a much better results. I would list a few specific things. That if we have a very high level of zebra crossing discipline, that means all the motorists respect zebra crossing really seriously, and all pedestrians use zebra crossing, and they will demand that there is a certain amount of time is clearly allowed and they should have freedom to cross. All the motorists should not invade the territory of zebra crossing. So that is one thing. Second thing is that those who want to board the bus, they should not come below the footpath. They should remain on the footpath and enter the bus. So the bus can come very close to the footpath. And wherever we need to provide overhead or underground parking, that is when the volume of crossing is quite high. Then to respect the citizen, there should be hopefully elevators or the lifts, which will facilitate. Then you can demand discipline, and we should provide sufficient number of trained policemen or women who will enforce this discipline.
It is the movement of men, movement of workers is the most important factor in traffic. So what is required is all roads, all movements should be centered around the requirements of the pedestrian.
Skywalk is not an alternative to a footpath. It's an additional facility provided by the authorities. The senior citizens and others who cannot go up and down frequently, they can still use the footpath. There will be less public on the footpath, so it will be that much easier for the senior citizen to walk.
I am at the conclusion that the skywalk is not a failure, even though many people are saying it's bad, it's not good. But let's look at it positively. At least they bothered to give us one skywalk in the city. Whether that's at the most prominent place or not, at least they've bothered, you know.
No, people must care. हम नहीं केयर करेंगे तो फिर कौन केयर करेगा? एज ए पेडिस्ट्रियन वी मस्ट केयर. और हमने नहीं केयर किया, इसके लिए मतलब ये सिचुएशन इतनी ज़्यादा मतलब जो है ना आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल होगी. तो नहीं तो फ्यूचर जनरेशन के लिए इससे ज़्यादा मतलब जो है ना प्रॉब्लम खड़ी हो जाएगी. अच्छा, जब आप आगे बढ़ेंगे तो कारवां लेकर चले, फिर कारवां आपके साथ में जुड़ता चले, तो आप आगे बढ़िए.
So if you want public facilities made available to the common man, agitations like SASIC are unavoidable. Because unless you speak, even your mother does not give you anything.
Every learned person in the city has an obligation to the city to take care of their small area. Half a kilometer area is enough. If every learned man takes up, people have enough time to go to temples every day. In fact, various temples. On a Tuesday they go to Siddhivinayak, on Saturday they go to a Hanuman temple. They will spend 1 hour doing all these pujas. I feel if you in that 1 hour period take some photographs, write letters and complaints, bring up the officers, that is a bigger puja. Like this Lok Shahi thing is a fantastic idea where you can go to the topmost man of BMC and without any appointment and go and give your complaint. So what stops you? Once in a month, taking out half an hour of your time, go and meet commissioner and tell him this is the nuisance in my area. So it can be done. The will and the attitude is required.
The amount of local area development funds, LADS, is tremendous. Our elected representatives, that is corporators, MLAs, MPs, get tremendous amount of money to improve our area. Not necessarily only improve the footpaths, but everything else. We need to demand from them how they have spent the money. Today we don't demand that, so two things happen. One is either the fund lapses or else it gets used up in some existent or non-existent projects. That will needs to be developed, that I must do something for my nation. I must fulfill my responsibility towards this earth. Only then can we do something. Just for better career and better job and better pay packet and all that, then you are neglecting your duties, and that's a wrong thing. And that's why we have come to such a stage where our nation is. Bad governance, maladministration, corruption, and lethargy of our bureaucrats and elected representatives.
See, if you want something, you've got to get up and speak. You've got to be heard. If you don't stand up and get counted, I mean, you can be just nobody. You can just be an ordinary person, maybe ignorant, maybe, just a person who can't do much. But because each individual is a vote for a politician, she should get or he should stand up and get counted.